Morning everyone, welcome to another Compliance Over Coffee. And whilst this morning's title says investors take note, it's also for sourcing agents to take note as well. As most of you know, I chat to loads and loads of people and we're going back live presenting now, and I hear lots of horror stories from investors telling me of problems that they've had, struggles that they've had with sourcing agents. And one particular story in the last couple of weeks since we've been going back doing these presentations really resonated with me for a few reasons. One of them being, it's the first time I think I've heard a story and there was nothing that I could do to help at the end of the day. And that really saddened me, because ordinarily, if a sourcing agent is registered with a redress scheme, we stand a chance. And quite often a pretty good chance, dependent on which redress scheme they're with, of getting at least some cash back. Now, the question that you investors have to ask yourselves is this: how important is your cash to you? How much do you value the hard work that you've put into building up the cash to invest in property? Because it appears to me, tell me if I'm wrong, that a lot of investors, the way that they deal with sources, think it's easy come, easy go. Now, that isn't how I would feel about our cash, and I hope it isn't how you feel about your cash. But there are some huge mistakes being made by investors in the UK at the moment. And I say this an awful lot, but this case really resonated with me because basically there's nothing that can be done. And I don't know about you, but even though you might be able to get somebody into trouble for not being registered when they should be, and get them fined and shut them down and whatever else happens, does that really help you if you've lost multiple tens of thousands of pounds? Would you easily be able to draw a line under what had been done to you? Forget it, walk away, carry on as if nothing had happened. I couldn't. It would annoy the hell out of me. And the problem with these particular cases, where I would struggle helping anyone, is these sourcing agents are not registered with redress schemes, with HMRC. They just aren't registered. So investors take note, you need to do your due diligence on the sourcing agent. And the other laughable thing is that a lot of experienced investors say to me, I don't care if a sourcer is compliant, Tina, as long as the deal stacks up. Well, you don't care until you need to care, and until it's about to lose you tens of thousands of pounds, and then all of a sudden you care. But then, if they're not registered, you've got no place to go. And the chances of you getting your cash back are pretty much zero, I would say. Pretty much zero. So investors, please take note. And this is where Napsa comes in, because if as an investor you find a sourcing agent on the Napsa site, you know that they are fully registered and insured, because we manually check everything. We don't guarantee the quality of the deals. That's down to you guys to do your due diligence on the deals. It's you that's investing in them, not us. But when you search on Napsa, these people that come up, I promise you, are in the 1% of sourcing agents in the UK, because they are compliant to the hilt on paper. They couldn't get any more compliant than being members of Napsa. And at least you know then that that safety net is there. Because what investors are finding now is those sourcing agents that don't have those registrations in place, that safety net in place, if something does go wrong, there's nowhere for them to go. Solicitors won't touch it. They just won't, without 10 or 15,000 pounds sitting in the bank account. And most investors don't want to have to fork out another 10 or 15,000 to be told you've got a 30% chance of getting anything back. And please, for goodness sake, sourcers, if you're going to operate in this space, forget the term compliant. Be legal, be professional. And do not take tens of thousands of pounds off investors and then walk to the hills and refuse to communicate, refuse to talk, and refuse to hand it back, because that to me is just bang out of order. And if somebody else doesn't report you to HMRC and National Trading Standards, I certainly would. So that is compliance over coffee for this morning. About compliance, I guess, but a sort of a warning for investors. And please, a heads up for you sources. If you don't have the cash to get compliant, then don't operate. Save up, get compliant, get everything in place, understand what it is that you have to do to protect yourself and protect your investor, and operate a professional legal business. I will be back with you with my coffee next Thursday at the usual time of 8:30 a.m. Until then, have a fantastic weekend wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Bye for now.